Lucas Media. So I've been hearing this rumor going around with boxing that PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, and Top Rank, which is ran by Bob Arum, founder of Top Rank, are supposedly they're going to start collaborating. Now, this is coming off of Supreme Leader Turki Al-Sheikh, Dana White shocking the world, which they came out and basically said that they're coming out with a boxing league similar to the PBC. You've seen Turkey reject the WBC belt, and it's funny, I seen they just did a little thing in Mexico, had a lot of people out there, and they're talking about, they pretty much wanted to get rid of all the belts, but then he went back and backtracked. But him and Dana White is coming out with their own formula for creating their own boxing league. Well, now, pretty much you're starting to see people get squeezed out, right? You're seeing a lot of people are wanting to go to the zone and go to Turkey. Turkey's throwing money out there like it's nothing. Most of the big fights that you want to see, he's starting to make happen. And you even got reports that Canelo and Crawford's going to fight in September, and they're going to split a $150 million pie. Now, let me say this, right? So I guess to stop all of that, now Top Rank and PBC are supposed to be unifying, are going to start collaborating. I'm assuming they're going to be on Prime, since PBC already got a slot on there, but Bob Arum said he wants to collaborate with Al Heyman. This is the report out there. Let me have this to say. I have no problem with collaborating. We want to see the fights that we want to see. I personally think like most promoters should collaborate. I don't care what network is on. Amazon, DAZN, Hulu, USA Network, CBS, I don't care. But my problem is, how come now y'all want to collaborate now that Supreme Leader Turkey's in, when y'all had year after year after year to try to collaborate and y'all didn't want to do it? We never got to see Tim Bradley versus Earl Spence. We had to beg and wait and plead for 6 years to get Mayweather versus Pacquiao. And now all of a sudden, y'all have no problem with all these different people fighting now. Terrence Crawford. Remember we want to see Terrence Crawford versus Keith Thurman? We couldn't see that happen. Oh man, he on the side of the street. Earl Spence running around talking about I'm on this side of the street and all of that. But now the streets are combining. See, this is why boxing is where it is, and you let somebody like Supreme Leader Turkey come in and try to clean up the sport, because all y'all pretty much had these promotional companies that was independent. They didn't want to fight each other. Everybody's on different networks. The networks don't want to collaborate, to where it became Top Rank was basically a WBO belt, and then whoever the WBC was, they was the favorite for the time, and people was paying for rankings, and it's just corruption at its finest. And guess what happened? UFC came out of nowhere, passed y'all up. Now this whole the slap thing that Dana White started, the slap competition, that's about to pass y'all up. Yes, you have a couple of fighters that's going to be making money, but most of UFC overall is a bigger sport. And what you see now, you see Turkey coming in and he started to see the fights. We almost got to see Wilder and Joshua. We got to see Undisputed at heavyweight. And I think it was since the 90s? Or whatever, since the 4-belt or the first time in the 4-belt era. That lets you know they've been playing games for all these years. And y'all telling us, oh, your fans don't know what they want. Well, why do you think everybody going to UFC and illegally streaming fights now? See, these boxers, these promoters, these networks, they have gotten too greedy, and this is what's going to happen. But it's just funny that now that people is about to get promotional companies are basically about to get wiped out. Now y'all want to collaborate, and now it don't matter what side of the street you on. But it should have always been like that. And I've came on record and said, I get it, boxing's a business and all of that, and 90% of it is just the drama and everything. 10% of it is the actual fight. But it's sad that we had to come to that. Turkey, somebody from Saudi Arabia, had to come over and start throwing out money, but we couldn't get to see. Wow, and don't be surprised Eddie Hearn start collaborating too. But yeah, we couldn't get to see Wilder and Anthony Joshua fight at their peak. Two brothers undisputed, could have been for the first 4-belt era, the first time in the 4-belt era. We couldn't have got that fight. Stuff like that is what ruined boxing. I'm sorry, boxing is where it is because of because of the suits, man. They got to, and a lot of these fighters too, man. Ever since Floyd came out that, I ain't lose, I got my own, I ain't afraid to let it go. You seen people afraid, and guess afraid to lose. And now what Dana White say? Oh, we're going to change all of that. It don't even matter. Boxing has gotten so bad that Earl Spence is now said he's not a Hall of Famer. Yet the man had 3 out of 4 belts and went over England and got the IBF belt from Kell Brook. That's how fickle these fans is. But if you go back 40 years ago in boxing, you take an L, you come back. I don't even know if Marvin Hagler would have been able to be the guy in this era of boxing, because he had a couple losses before he won his first title. Could you imagine? Oh man, he lost, man. No, he ain't the same. You know, or even like an Ali or a Joe Frazier or a George Foreman and all these other people, man. Everybody got losses for the most part, outside of Floyd, Rocky Marciano, a couple other people. But when you really think about it, the greatest fighters have always taken L's. Hell, Jack Johnson had several losses before he became the first black heavyweight champion. But I just want to get my quick thoughts about it. I'm not surprised by this, but you know, look, whatever they do, I don't really care. I'm not on any side. I have no loyalty to none of these companies. I just want to see the best fight the best. But let me know what y'all think.